Okay, it's recording.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, Anthony. So, can,
Let
can
me.
we just say you're from Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I'm from Pittsburgh area.
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, nope. I don't have any audio.
Huh. Weird.
Hold on. I've moved over to Zoom because I've made too many mistakes with Skype,
Oh yeah.
but I've been successful with Skype also. So it's just a matter of getting it right. Okay, give me some audio here.
Okay.
Say
1, 2,
something.
3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Nope,
1.
nothing.
Yes.
Internal speakers. Try again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Says it's working.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, Anthony. So can we say that you're from Pennsylvania?
You can say that. Yeah, I'm from the Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh area.
I've always been really interested in pilots. The only reason I didn't become a pilot myself was I don't have inner ear balance, and so I get
Oh,
dizzy real easily.
I'll knock you out.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd you get started in aviation?
Oh, geez. My dad was worked for Boeing, and so did his brother. And I grew up in Seattle, and my dad was a chemical engineer for Boeing, um, and he was hired there during World War II. And so I was always exposed to aviation. My uncle was also electronics engineer, and they were both very high up in Boeing engineering departments. My dad was at his end of his career. He was one of the heads of quality control on the 747 painting division on the old 747 classics, and so I was always exposed to it. And I uh, I was working in a grocery store and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I was going to college at University of Washington. I decided a buddy of mine was going over to this flight school in Moses Lake, Washington, and I decided to go over and take a look and wound up signing right up and got 2 years worth of training and wound up teaching at the college. And then I hopped all over the country, chasing job after job, and wound up with the airlines and wound up in Pittsburgh working for U.S. Airways. And then I quit them in 2005, and I went to work for a company called Polar Air Cargo, flying 747s, and they merged with Atlas Air, and we were the biggest 747 carrier in the world, and they carried cargo for DHL, Amazon, and I wound up at the end of my career being a captain on the 767.
Wow,
So
that's
I've been
good.
doing this since I was 19. So, and then now I'm flying for a corporation here in Pittsburgh because I had mandatory retirement at 65.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm just flying for this corporation here. They treat me like gold, and it's a wonderful way to end your career.
Still keep your fingers up in the sky, huh?
Yeah, I still work about 10 days a month and flying all over the country and a little bit in Mexico and like a Lear style aircraft,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Gulfstream G150 it's called. And it's a nice little rig, and not the big iron like I used to, but boy, it pays decent, and they treat me like gold. So, God, I'm happy to be here.
All right.
And
Well, why don't you go ahead and tell me your experience with STEM Enhance?
oh, okay. Originally, about oh gosh, 20 years ago, 15 years, yeah, 20 years ago, maybe 15, I blew out my right knee, and I was squatting down working on the side of my house, and I split my meniscus. So they wanted to operate on me and cut out the tear, and I said, well, what's going to be there? And if you cut it out, just a hole. And he goes, yep, but it'll feel better. And I went, yeah, but I'm going to have a hole, so I'm going to write a bone on bone anyway. He goes, yep. I said, why don't I just not do the operation and see if it'll heal? And I asked him, why won't it heal? He says, well, I said, is the tissue dead? Is the meniscus dead? He goes, no, it's not dead. He says it's alive, but it doesn't have any blood flow. I went, no. So I said, so if I increase the blood flow somehow, maybe I can heal it. Well, I did some things to increase the blood flow, and I did a lot of exercise, a lot of walking stairs. Being in Korea, they had this huge mountain behind one of our hotels, and I used to walk these stairs, thousands of stairs. And my meniscus came back. But recently, and I'm 66 now, recently my right knee has given me a lot of trouble. So I decided to try stem cell or enhancement under your recommendation. And after a month taking it, 3 weeks, man, I felt a striking, complete improvement. And now I have absolutely no pain at all. Now I can squat down and not have any pain, whereas before I was having real trouble. And when I fly this airplane, I have to squat down underneath it to put gear pins in or pick up things and stuff, for the baggage for the passengers. And it would cause me a lot of trouble, but now I haven't had any trouble. So I decided my wife is having trouble with her knee. So I said, you're going on it. So she's on it now, and her knee is a lot better. So been pleased. And Ray was talking about it, your buddy, and he said, kind of tongue-in-cheek, he says, well, it kind of helps out in your sex life. I was going, yeah, right. So one thing I found out about this stuff, which was kind of interesting, was I'd wake up in the middle of the night with everything working in great order. I mean, like you were when you were a kid, waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
With, everything solid. And I found when I take this stuff at night, I always have that response. At least lots of the time.
Huh.
So that was an interesting thing, and Ray thought I should talk about that a little bit. And but that was a unexpected extra.
I've never heard that one before.
Well, that was with me. Maybe it's just me.
But I know
Beth having blood pressure drop. Well, of course, erection dysfunction. I don't have that, but is caused by blood pressure issues down there. So maybe that helps. I don't know.
Well, my story was I've been a tennis player since I was in my 20s, and every so often I never took lessons early on, so I have bad serving form.
Uh-huh.
So I'm left-handed, so I was always blowing out my left shoulder, and people would say, you can't regrow cartilage and all that, and I went, well, I don't have any choice, so I just rested for a year, and sure enough, it'd grow back, and then I could play again.
Right.
Then inevitably, I'd try to hit serves too hard, and because of the bad form, it'd come back. And so maybe about 6 years ago, I played right-handed for 18 months, and I was playing at a competitive club level, but so I wasn't playing very well. But I mean, at least it's the same exercise for your legs, it's same cardiovascular exercise, all that, and so I kept doing it. And anyway, I found Stem Enhance, and sure enough, now I'm serving both serves hard. I never have any trouble. You cannot tell me that it has not regrown the cartilage in my shoulder.
Right.
And I'd tried everything short of having stem cells actually injected or have your blood taken out, and some procedure they do, it costs you $5,000, and it only works for a while. And so
yeah, my buddy that I got involved in tonight, he just signed up and got 6 bottles, and he's had that done to his knee numerous times. And so I told him about my success with my knee, and he was all on board. So he signed up for 6. Be interesting to see how it turns out for him.
yeah. So you can regrow cartilage, and there's a lot of other. We just have numerous things. My my karate teacher had he was on dialysis, and so I put him on a monthly shipment, and he started taking it, and I didn't hear from him for a while, and then I called him back and said, yeah, ever since you sent me that in January, I got off dialysis. And he's 10 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
So he's in his 80s, and it fixes a lot of stuff. It doesn't work for everybody, but I suspect the reason it doesn't work is because people will do like the way I did when Ray first twisted my arm to take this stuff.
Right.
And that's, I'd take a couple capsules one day and then I'd skip a day and I'd forget
Yeah.
about it. And then I'd take another one and, just really half-assed. And uh, so then finally, when it started to work, then I said, how many am I supposed to take?
Right.
And then I went for it. And I walked in and said, Beth, you're going to have to take this
Yeah.
for your hip and your knee. And so she started. And then, she was equally half-assed about it and all that. And finally, she came in my office one night and said, you got any more of that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I started off with 3 a day, and now I've kind of been, a little slack off and on. But I haven't had any trouble with my knee at all. And but I just ran out. I got the 2-for-1 deal a few months back, and I ran out, and because my wife's been using it all. And so, but then I had to replenish, and I saw this deal, and I went for it. And I've been very pleased, very pleased. And tell me, if I keep taking it, will I get hair like you?
I don't know. I was getting bald. I was getting gray. Look for yourself.
Well, I hope that happens. Yeah. The other reason I took it, and maybe this will be on the editing floor, but I took it because I got vitiligo. Vitiligo, which is like Michael Jackson, you get this, the melanocytes die and your pigment doesn't regenerate in your skin. So I found a cure to that, not a cure, but something that will repigment the skin. It's called UVB light. And, but that doesn't cure it. It just causes the melanocytes to be reinvigorated, the baby melanocytes that are down in the bottom of the hair follicle. And it comes to the surface and they replenish the pigment, but it doesn't cure it. So that was another reason why I did stem enhance, thinking that stem cell production would replenish those melanocytes. So at any rate, I'm still doing that. I'm looking for success in that. But I do know, man, it did help with my knee, and I'm hoping that it'll help with this. But nobody knows why this happens. It just happens. They call it a immune system response problem. But generally that means they don't have any idea why. And I'll tell you another thing, Bill. One of the things that I've been doing since in my early 40s, late 30s, I study homeopathic approaches for everything that I can focus on.
Right.
And one of the things that I came to the conclusion about was cholesterol. My cholesterol is very high, but I refuse to take any statins. And what I found is that cholesterol, your body makes it for a reason. Even the stuff they call bad cholesterol, the LDLs, it's not bad at all. Your body needs LDLs. So there are certain things that cause arteriosclerosis. It's not cholesterol. Cholesterol is just a response to the inflammation of your arteries. And then the body comes in and starts laying plaque over the inflammation, trying to stop it. But then your body's continually fighting itself, trying to heal all that inflammation. And it never gets healed because, of course, in America, we eat like garbage.
Right.
So, and we do everything that inflames our arteries. That causes all the arteriosclerosis. Well, flying all over the world, I noticed one thing. Okinawa has got the longest longevity. You go to Japan, you see the way they eat over there. There's absolutely evident their lifestyle and types of foods they eat is very beneficial to their health. Where in the United States, we're a bunch of morons.
Right.
Eat here. So, I've seen people the way they eat all over the world, and some of the worst examples of eating poorly is here in the U.S., and some of the best examples of eating well are the Koreans and the Japanese. That's my experience.
Well,
so I'm glad you promoted this, because I would have never taken it if it wasn't for you.
well, thanks.
Yeah.
And I continue to take it every day.
Yep.
Right there it is.
Yep.
Sitting right here, so I'll remember it.
Yeah.
Well, how about you just, if we could go over this again kind of concisely so that it'll be easier for me to pin together 60 seconds of it.
Okay. All right. Initially, Bill, I saw that you were promoting this product. by Cerule Stem Enhance, and I've seen some of your ads or testimonials about people having very much success in their knees. And so I decided to take it, and within 3 weeks of taking it, and I was taking 3 pills a day at first, I found that the pain in my knee went away, and it was the reason why I had pain in my knee, like I told you, was because of an old injury where I tore my meniscus.
Mm.
And so that was the reason why I started taking it, and I've had great success. And like I told you, I put my wife on it, and now she's not having the pain in her knee that she used to, but she's only been on for a little over a month, and it's getting better all the time.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I think I can put something together from that.
Okay, and then you can put something together with the other thing I said too, if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see about that. That might work. You were very delicate about that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, everybody wants the blue steel, and yeah, that's up to you and whether or not anybody else has had that experience. That was the reason why Ray told me to call you, or for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ray is a guy who's got his pulse on, what everybody's thinking. So I'll see if I can cut that in there instead of 60 seconds.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, and man, it's just a privilege to talk with you. I am so happy there are people like you, honorable people like you out there that are fighting the fight.
I've been doing this for a long time. This is the first time I've made any money doing it.
Good. Good. I hope it's I'm watching Jay Sekulow right now. It's so obvious what they're doing. It's just.
I know.
It's just awful. I hope we hang on. I hope we can keep control of this country.
It's amazing they've gotten as far as they've gotten with such nothing burgers. Nothing.
I know. And all it is just to keep dragging them through the mud as long as they can.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Mueller, everything 3 years straight.
Tom Fitton was on TV just a little while ago, and he said, it doesn't matter. Even if they drug it out through Election Day, all they're doing is digging themselves a deeper hole. The American people are too smart for this. I don't share his enthusiasm. I want to see this thing stop right now.
You and me
get back to Trump rallies every other night.
Well, his rallies are incredible.
You ever been to one?
No, I want to go, but I haven't been able to go.
Oh man, Beth and I have been to about 5. I mean, it's better than rock concerts when we were kids or anything. It's just like the best.
Oh my God, it must be. It must be the best. Yeah, I'd love to go. He came to Pittsburgh. In fact, he went to the cracking plant, which is this great big cracking plant they built here. It's 10 miles from my house, where they break apart the oil from the fracking.
Uh-huh.
They break it into the polyurethanes and propanes and natural gas and all the different other plastics. And this is you Google the cracking plant in Beaver County. Google it. It's a multi-billion-dollar operation. It's incredible. And that's 10 miles from my house. It's really something. He came out here to kind of cut the ribbon almost. It's not open yet. They're still building it. But
yeah.
He came out here.
Well, he'll be in Pennsylvania again for sure.
Yeah.
You should take the time to go see it. I know it's a pain in the butt to go, but you'll never see anything like it. And after this November, there ain't going to be no more of them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's a history-making deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right, Bill.
I'll try to get this up tonight.
I'll be watching you.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.